No, I love her. My brain just stopped. Donna,
You look.
gosh, I can't remember. Oh, okay, I can reach out to Donna. Oh.
Which, you know, you wouldn't want to expensive use for your professionals, but that would be kind of a nice little, the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll find out.
I just wanted to ask you about MLS when we're done.
Okay. Hey, Leah, Kim, because I go out maybe once a month after work. Usually I go right home. If I go out, that's the night you try calling me. Like literally.
You're going out.
I know. You're pissed. Probably.
That's probably.
I was out for my husband's birthday last night with my kids, so I didn't have my phone out.
I actually called you by accident.
Oh. I panic when I look at my phone and I see I missed the call. I panic.
Calling you. I literally.
Oh. Panicker lady. Yeah, so anyway, we get the first group of kids the other night, these little kids. And my husband's holding Bo between his legs and I'm giving out the candy. And as the third little boy's walking away, my husband says, Mom. My husband says, Miss, why was that kid looking back at you like that? He kept looking back at you really strange. I said, I don't know. Maybe he thinks I'm a crazy old lady. I couldn't figure it out. Like the kid was looking at me so strange, this little boy. He kept staring back. Within 2 minutes, I shut the door and my phone rings. It's my son, Anthony, laughing hysterical. Oh my God, that was so funny. He was in my ring. I don't know why my kids are connected to my ring, screaming, going to the kid, trick or treat, smell my feet, all this stuff through the ring. And that's why the kid kept looking back at me because he's probably saying, how is that woman doing that?
Oh, that's funny. That's hysterical.
All this stuff. He goes, was that Alexandra? I said, my sister's feet smell and blah, blah, blah. That's what my 30-year-old does. I just want everyone to know what my 30-year-old does.
The ring doorbells are so fun now. We weren't home enough to bucket, but to go and watch it back. All these little kids are coming. This little
They
boy
said that
with-
was all, TikTok was all about that yesterday, was watching people, what they did.
Yes, the dads were stealing candy and like looking like if anybody can see this little boy was like, Mommy, I didn't have to be on my best behavior. Everybody answered the door.
Oh, that's funny.
They just got to take their candy. I was like, this is awesome.
There.
We should
They
never.
really, my daughter told me that yesterday, that's what they did. TikTok was blowing up on people's rings where, that they left the candy out and what the kids were doing.
We have cameras on her house and I was so excited to watch because we also left candy out. And then we came home and we had, been toilet papered and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we were like so excited to watch it and then we realized we had it set for like 8:45 and we left the house at like 7:30 and it was the camera was set to go on at 8:45. We missed everything.
Oh my God.
Bummer. Yeah.
That's
so we don't know
crazy.
who, like,
That's so funny.
creamed our house.
Is that now 360?
Yeah, there was like a group of girls that I got.
I probably, I don't know.
You know.
Yes, the night before, yeah.
A couple of the girls won.
It's mentioned it now.
And then I was like, let's.
Well, I don't have kids to like, who would mention it to me?
So I'm like,
Like, you know.
Find it.
Usually if you have kids and they're running out.
My house.
But when I left here on Monday night about 5 o'clock, I always turn, what's the street name where Chase is off 202? So if I'm going up 202, I'm going up 202 and Chase is here and I turn down that street. What's that main street? Why can't I ever remember? Yes, thank you. So I go down Glenbrook and it looks like I'm in a movie scene. It's 5 o'clock. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of kids on Glenbrook. Oh, and there was a street shut down and there was.
So my client's moving there and that's why she's like obsessed. She goes, she's like refused. I tried to sell her in 25 different towns. She's like, there's nothing like this town at Halloween, at Christmas, at the park, the parades.
Now the neighbor is like that at Halloween.
Yeah, someone else mentioned that as well.
That's where we used to take their heads.
I was like, these families or these households here on Glenbrook must have spent at least $200 on candy because I've never. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It looked like a movie. It looked like a movie where you just see kids walking across the street all over. There was,
Like that too, when they ran out of candy.
Meadowbrook is always like that, yeah.
Eat 'em, and the girls called ahead and they said, don't bother coming now, everybody's out, all the lights were off. By like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's so crazy, but anyway, at least they had a beautiful day, the kids. You can't
It wasn't
complain.
cold.
Yeah, it wasn't cold. I mean, I've been through some miserable Halloweens in my day, and this was a definite beautiful day. So, but that means we are at November 2nd, unfortunately, people. That's what that means. If it's after Halloween, we're at November 2nd. And we're supposed to have 70-degree weather this week, so we will take it as long as we can get it. That's for sure. So, I got to switch over to my office birthdays and anniversaries because they just came through. So I want to make sure we get them for the month. So Catherine Adcock's birthday, Leo, Jeff Doninger, Priscilla. Oh, that's right. You and Gio. I know that. I know that. You and my son Gio are the same birthday. Christina Ferriola, Jennifer Grant. Lori, you're a week after Gio's, exactly, to the day. I'll remember that now. Diane Madrigos is today. And Alexandra Mistos was yesterday. That's a gorgeous picture. Much better than the one I picked off Facebook when she first joined us, if everybody remembers that one. That was gorgeous too, just not appropriate. Marissa's is today. Melissa Rostovsky. I only met her once myself, guys. Christos is November 5th. Jennifer is November 12th. And then our anniversaries for the month, we have Nancy Cassidy, 7 years, Nance. Christina Ferriola, Kunal, Marvin Lazamataz, he came back again. Deb Monticello, Neil Morjani, Osama, Eric, and Joanne Travisano. So happy anniversary, guys. Oh, I gotta go back. It's gonna be very tricky for me today. Okay. So our office awards for the month. Again, when the day before our awards or our meeting is the first of the month, the awards don't come out till that morning. So that's what we're struggling doing this morning, getting everything put together because we don't see the numbers until today. So for teams for dollar volume, top producers, the Elms Group team, Barbara and Betsy, and the lead team. So congratulations to our teams for top dollar volume. As far as individuals for dollar volume, we have Mara, 3.3. Not so bad, right? For people would say it was a slow market. Jacob and Vin Dotwani. Oh, Vin just popped his head out to see his face. Did you see that? How obnoxious was that? He's on a conference call. How obnoxious was that? I didn't even get to his name yet. Oh, my goodness. Jacob officially changed his name to Jacob because it was ANHQUAN, Win. And so he officially changed it. So now he can officially market himself as Jacob Win. So for those of you who know Jacob. And our top 8 producers for dollar volume for the month, Mara Glaubert, Jacob Win, Kim Brechka, Victoria Meechin, Catherine Mancino, Deborah and Lonnie, Deb Reagan, and Stacy Garibaldi. So congratulations, everyone.
I like how that E, right, after Rin.
And I noticed that we forgot Vin on this one. He's supposed to be there, but Vin's not. I better put him in. Thank God he's whatchamacallit. Yeah, he's not here. He'll never know. And then for listings for the month of October, for teams, Brenda Lee team, Michael Elms Group, Troutman team, and Barbara and Betsy were tied for number 3. So congratulations, guys, for listings. Listings are the key, and they're so hard to come by these days, as we can see with the inventory. And then listing individual, we have Mara Glauberg, Terry Dearness, and Kim Brechka. So congratulations, guys. And then sales for the month for teams, Michael Elms Group and Barbara and Betsy. You got a parking space now, Priscilla. I feel like I just did that one. Which means, oh, I was gonna say, that means I did something wrong, I'm sure. And then sales individuals, we have Mara Glauber, Jacob Wynn, and Kim Bretschka. So again, once again, congratulations for a great month. In October, things have slowed down a bit in the market. We've all seen that. We all feel it, right? There's a lot of factors. We're gonna go through that in a little bit. But again, just make sure that you're not slowing down now. Now is not the time to slow down in this market. Typically, this is when our mindset starts going into holiday mode and taking a break mode. But more than ever, you have to keep your head in the game right now. So we have to remember this number, 15,300. That's how many active agents are in GSMLS today in November of 2022. Why do we have to remember that? Because we're going to see a lot of that number change. We've seen that in 2008 and 2009. When the market gets tough, a lot of people get out, right? You have to stay in it to win it, right? So again, 15,003 is a number I want everybody to remember, and we're going to continue to keep track of that number and see, especially after the new year, when all the fees are due and all that stuff comes up, where everybody is. So visualize your success, Tom Ferry. So routine is the sign of an ambitious individual. We must have a routine in order to be successful. We need to have a routine in our life, whether it's waking up at the same time every day, going to the gym same time every day, taking a walk, whatever it is that you do, everything that you do consistently is what bears results. And you have to do that in your business as well, more so than ever before. So there's a 2-minute clip we're going to watch or listen and watch. And it's just going over some of the things that you should be doing from now until the end of the year. I have that booklet, right? I downloaded it at the last meeting. And then I went through it and sort of weeded out any of like the papers that were just like fillers that they call it in there, right? Because there was a lot of fillers. And so if anybody wants that, I have it and I can make copies for you. But again, why is that so important? Because we really need to know where we are to know where we're going. You don't get in your car and say, oh, I'm gonna take a ride to Virginia and not put it in your GPS, do you? No, you put it in your GPS, you know where you're going before you head out somewhere. That has to be your day every day in real estate. You have to know where you're going. You have to know how you're going to get to your success, how you're going to reach your goals. And I feel like in real estate, we're like a bunch of humans on ADHD all day long. We don't know which way to turn. We don't know where to go, right? Because we don't have a plan in place. And so our day gets taken away from us. More than ever, guys, you have to have a plan in place. You have to have a playbook. You have to know where you're going, and you have to plan ahead what your marketing is going to be. You know, I have top agents in the office who come to me every month and sit down and say, what's my numbers? Where am I at? Where do I need to be? How far am I from last year? Am I over last year? What do I need to do? You have to know these things. I know sometimes it's painful because maybe you're not where you want to be, right? I understand that. But in order to get to where you want to go, you have to know all of these things on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, especially what your plan is moving forward. And again, it's more important than ever before. You know, we're in a little bit of a crazy market right now. We've been in a lot more before, and we've gotten through them. We're all sitting here, and we're all fine. So don't get caught up in the market. Get caught up in the things that you need to be doing every single day to be successful. That's what you should be focusing on. Don't focus on the market as much, you know, in a negative way. I mean, focus on what we need to do. So this is the time of year when many sales associates look at how far they are from their goals and think about giving up, right? The associates who stay laser focused will end up on top this year, crushing business goals and finding success right through the holiday season. By implementing this practice, you can build a momentum in your pipeline of potential sellers who are ready to go and buyers who will be ready to purchase next year. So there's something powerful about keeping your business practice simple, accountable, and measurable. Where do you want to be in the next 3 months? No more shortcuts. So everybody should take the time today or tomorrow or by Friday the latest and identify 10 people that you can work with or work on in the next few months. That should be easy to find. Go through your contacts, go through your CRM, go through wherever it is, just as a reminder of the people you need to be working with. So here's a client scoreboard, right? People who you could be working with and when you think they're going to end up, you know, performing on their transaction. So list the contacts in your pipeline who will be your next 10 transactions in the next 30 to 90 days. Include their dollar amount when they want to move. And always replenish the list as you remove people to ensure you have 10 all the time. Easy enough to do, right? Add the number of appointments you are committed to achieving for the year, quarter, month, week. So make sure that you know how many appointments you want to go in for the week, for the month, for the year. Something that we don't do, we don't plan ahead. Include a monthly, quarterly marketing plan, again, which is huge because marketing has to be consistent. You can't send a postcard out once and say, I didn't get any success from it. It has to be consistent for a year, 2 years, even before you start getting people to reach out to you. So take a screenshot of your board and make it the wallpaper on your phone as a reminder to stay focused and accountable for your business goals. I think that's a great idea, right? So you always have it in front of you. Change it every week as you move through your 10 active clients. And then guide your active clients through their journey. So monitor their status, keep them motivated, inspired, provide relevant market updates, why this is the best time to move. Be their personal shopper, preview properties for them, provide ultimate open houses for your sellers, schedule minimum weekly check-ins with your top 10, and monitor your progress and hold yourself accountable, which is really, really huge. I know some of you have accountability partners, and I know it helps you out a lot. Be consistent with that. It's really, really important. So check your scoreboard each morning. Time block client check-ins and prospecting activities. Update your appointment scoreboard every single day. What can you add or change to reach your weekly goal? Sometimes we have to pivot and change things depending on how our week is going. Increase your opportunities for face-to-face meetings. Host multiple open house events every week. Use a multi-channel plan to maximize attendance at every event. Remember, it's not just enough to say, oh, I'm going to host an open house this weekend and then do nothing else until Sunday at 12 o'clock when you show up there. You have a CRM, reach out to people through your CRM, go door hanging. Again, it's going to be 70 degrees this weekend. We're gonna have, you have a great opportunity with the weather that we've had to be out and about. Take advantage of being outside, door hang, meet people in the neighborhood. Increase your conversion of guests to clients, become the real estate resource expert. Again, this is more important than ever that you are either monitoring something like Keeping Currents Matter, a Tom Ferry podcast, all different podcasts, real estate webinars, that kind of information. In fact, I'm gonna, the next slide is, I attended the NCJR installation meeting last week. I didn't know what an installation meeting was, but it's online and I signed up for it and I figured I can listen to it while I'm doing my work on my desk. And I got to when Lauren John went on and started talking about the market in a local sense, that I stopped everything. I pulled up the thing. I was writing down notes, which I'm hopefully going to make sense of everything that I took last week because I thought it was, and all I kept saying in my office was, this is awesome. This is awesome. Where people at the desk kept saying, are you talking to me? I'm like, no, I'm talking to myself. Because it was such great information, but we have to be on top of everything these days more than ever before, because everybody's depending on us, right? I know it's hard. You go to a Halloween party. I went to a Halloween party Saturday night with a bunch of 30-year-olds as my niece and nephew, and they have a million questions. Like, you can't get away from our business, right? It's more of a lifestyle. But I want to at least sound like I know what I'm talking about, right? So I have to stay on top of the industry more than ever before. To provide data reinforcing why this is the best time to buy. Market statistics absorption rate template, Keeping Currents Matter, or any of our infographics. Close for the appointment with every guest at the open house. Use the My White Girl Open House app to register your guests, and guests will automatically be added to an open house campaign. Answer the call when the system calls you to connect with your open house lead. We shut that off because that was a nightmare at the beginning, remember? Customize your property alert based on your conversation. So again, making sure that you're keeping in touch with everybody that you meet and you have a system out there that does it for you, that nurtures them on your behalf automatically. So leverage your My White Girl dashboard and your smart CRM to consistently replenish your active list of 10. Today, build your list of 10 active clients and create your scoreboard. Open your laptop smart CRM or look at the contacts in your phone. Identify contacts in your database that will be your next transactions in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. Review the notes for the price point and target date. How many appointments are you committed to getting in the next 3 months? Everybody should have something pop right up in their mind right now. Decide on your next steps for creating a monthly or quarterly marketing plan. So again, just identify, think of the simplicity of it, identifying 10 people that you know, that you've worked with, that you've met in an open house, whatever it is that you think you could potentially work with in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. That's all you have to do. Put that in front of you every single day, and you can change it as it goes, but you should always have 10 people on that list. Always have 10 people. So anybody have any questions in regards to that, or anything that anybody does that they want to share that could help others? Right, the ultimate open house experience. So for this month, it's how do you know if your guests have a positive experience? They're glad to hear from you every time you connect with them. You are the agent they call when they are ready. They can't wait to tell all their friends and families about their experience with you. Make November a guest appreciation month, okay? And reach out to the past guests to build a positive relationship. Again, what did I used to say? JFF. Man. I know, Joey, I remember that. Just freaking follow up, people. That's all you have to do is stay on top of your clients. Hi, how are you doing? How was Halloween? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? What are you doing for the holidays? It's just a friendly call. Don't get caught up in that you're bothering them. People love to hear from you, especially if they get to talk about themselves. Do you ever get in touch, like you meet someone at the grocery store and you're there for half an hour because they're telling you, all you said was, oh, how are you? How's the family? And they talk your ear off for a half hour and you can't get away. And of course you had somewhere to go, but you don't know how to break free. People love to talk about themselves or talk about what's going on. So think about it in a positive way, never a negative way when you're reaching out to somebody, always a positive way. So, yeah, I might need your help with this. So, I listened to the meeting last week, and they were just putting in members for the next year, right, upcoming year in NCJR, starting in 2023. And then Lawrence came on and started talking about the market. And of course, they didn't share anything with me afterwards. So thank God I just scribbled what I could in the time I did and took screenshots. I'm a screenshot expert of different things. But one of the things he says is, most people that you sold to in the last few years probably have a mindset is, I love my 3% mortgage rate more than I love a fourth bedroom or a finished basement, right, to move up, right? So that, yes, they've accumulated a lot of equity in that short amount of time, right? Which you can't do in other venues when it comes to investing, but they do love that rate, right? So that rate, who wants to trade up a 3% rate for 7 or 8 or 9% rate? I don't even know where we're going or where we're going to be. None of us know. So again, that's the mindset, but still, they're the best people to call right now just to see where they are and to give them information on their home and what's going on in the market. So mortgage rates have declined over the past 3 decades. Low inflation, low mortgage rates, high inflation, high mortgage rates. So let me get to the next thing. Okay, so I never knew much about 10-year treasury, but so we're at a resistance point. Once it hits a wall, it will either retract and go back down, meaning the mortgage rates, or unless the wall is broken. This year, the mortgage rates just broke right through it, right? I mean, if you think about just a year ago, November, the rates were probably what, 2.93% a year. And what are they today? 7. Okay. 7. And today there might be a change. Okay, so we're at 7. So that's huge. So it's not like it took 3 years or 4 years that we took from 2.93% to get to 7. That probably would have been an easier pill to swallow for everybody. But because it happened in such an abrupt way, so instantaneously, that's where everybody's right now in shock, right? So the red is the treasury rate and blue is mortgage rates, right? So what the US government pays for money is what a treasury rate is, okay? Or treasury yield, I'm sorry, not treasury rate. And then our mortgage rates are backed by the government, right? So it usually follows, as you can see, but the mortgage rates are always a little bit lower. So depending on where the treasury yield is where our mortgage rates are going to end up finding out. So so that's just a little bit about how our mortgage rates get to where they are. And then this is 30-year mortgage rates from 1990 with resistant points, right? So there's times where they've gone up and then you can see they stayed basically the same in those years. So 1990, we were at 10%. We went up to probably about 11%, a little over 10. I remember in 1989, it was 12% in 1989. So just a year before it was 12, and then it came down to 10, right? And then you see in 1994, it went down to almost 6, and then you could see sort of a trend going from there. Someone had asked me recently, they're like, what were the rates before COVID, right? Nobody remembers just 2 years ago where the rates were. They're in the 4s, right? Mid to high 4s.
If you look at that block there, 2012, 2020, they were just up and down, low, high 3s, low 4s for such a long period of time. And even if you go back further than that too as well, again, another 8-year block higher, around in the 5s and 6s. But that's the big challenge. The challenge is what's gone on in that last year, just how high it's gone so fast. If it would have done the exact opposite, going back the other direction, we wouldn't be in any position that we're in right now, Mark. It's like it would just be kind of doing this and kind of gradually going.
It's actually going up like it has in the past.
Everybody to manage, sellers and buyers alike. It's just, unfortunately, knee jerk what's happening.
Yeah, so here we were, the lowest in history, and here we are, the biggest spike in history, right? So we've actually gone through all of those in a few months, basically. So pending home sales sinking below 2019 levels. Okay, these are home sales. So red line indicates right before COVID. So that was right before COVID, and then you can see as it shifts, right? And again, one of the reasons that they don't predict we're going to have a lot of depreciation is because we don't have inventory. That's what's going to keep the home prices stabilized. We don't have the inventory, so there's no way we can really have a big reduction in, or in depreciation. We can't do it. If the homes start coming on, if we started getting a lot of inventory, then maybe that will change. But right now, we're not seeing anything. In fact, I feel like it's lower from last week when I just checked, when I just did the absorption rate. So payroll jobs in New York City. Oh, before I get to that, Morris County is only down 10%, which is better than the rest of the country. If we want to talk on a more localized,
Down.
10% in listings, okay, in inventory. New listings are still down drastically, which is why we're still seeing multiple offers, right? So again, the low inventory, even though we don't particularly like it, because it doesn't give us a lot of opportunities to have listings right now, right? It is actually what's keeping our market and our the home prices pretty much stabilized, right, at this time.
It's down 10%.
I would say probably 12 months, or at least since January. For this year. New Jersey is the only positive state when it comes to payroll jobs. And then it also includes New York City. So I'll show you the next slide, which is actually a little easier to read. So New Jersey is 1.07% higher, right, for New York, for payroll jobs. And then you see a little percentage change there on top with a different, with a graph. So just a little bit of information again about why we're doing a little bit better here than nationally. Because I know whenever I do a lot of the slides, it's on a national level and everybody says, well, that's national. You know, my clients want to hear what's going on here. They want to know what's going on in our area. So this is a little bit more localized for us. And then inflation benefits debtors, right? So declining percentage of income towards mortgage over time. So Anthony, you can help me with this one a little bit better. Anthony's like, I don't know what the hell. Anthony's seeing all this for the first time. So middle column is someone making about $80,000. So the monthly salary growing at 5% growth, that's based on someone making about $80,000 right now, okay? If the inflation disappears, the column disappears, right? Because things don't always grow as quickly when we're in a different market. So buying a home is still a benefit as debt lowers each year. So here's what they're showing you is that the percentage of salary towards your mortgage, right? So if the monthly salary of someone at $80,000 a year is at 6,667, right? That's their monthly salary, right? And their mortgage payment at $350 at a 7% interest rate is $23.29. The percent of salary towards mortgage is 35% today. 8 years from now, in 2030, right? Because of the 5% growth in their payroll each year, right? Which is going to give them a higher monthly amount that they're collecting each month, right? So they go from 6,667 to 9,850 in 8 years. Their mortgage payment still stays at 23.29. That never changes, right? Because your mortgage doesn't change. And so the percentage of salary towards mortgage is then at 24%. So it's down 11%. Does everybody understand that? I know it's a little confusing, but I mean, it's so. Yes, if the salary goes up at a 5% rate, yes, correct. But usually, I mean,
That's okay.
I find, yeah. I find a lot of people who my kids went to school with, as you know, you struggled more when your kids were little, then your kids got older to like maybe high school. And those people seem to have more money to move up. They had more money to do different things because they were, you know, consistently, I guess, growing their salary, right? And their expenses had gone down because their salary has gone up, right? They didn't have to pay as much unless they overdid it. So I thought that was a good chart. I know it's a little confusing at first, but the bottom line is that your mortgage payment stays the same. So if you continue to grow and get more money financially, that number, you know, you're going to have more money in your pocket in the end of the day as years go on. And that's what it really matters. So net percentage of homes sold as foreclosed or short sale is basically nominal.
It's crazy though, the mindset. I was talking to someone last night. First thing he said to me, he said, I'm waiting for all the foreclosures to start coming out in March.
Yeah,
You know, next year and stuff.
They're essentially non-existent,
I'm like,
essentially
"Really? You really
non-existent.
think that's gonna happen? He's like, yeah,
Nope.
like it happened in like 08 and 09. I'm like,
People are
not.
it's not happening.
Not-
And this is, and that's what you see here. So this is from 08, 09, 2010, it's starting at, so that's when we started seeing them all.
And the whole reason why was because everything prior to that was so low down, no money down programs, and it was very easy. to Take a step aside,
No
and
money
get no
down,
equity
no
in the home as it was. Everybody now's got 30–40% potential equity in the house. Like, even if you were to think of walking away, you just list it for sale by owner, and sell to make some money.
Yeah. The Americans have more equity in their home today than they ever did before, And I mean, what shocks me even more, and you could probably share the numbers too, how many cash deals we're getting in this office alone. The cash deals, we go through the deals that come in, unbelievable.
A month ago, it was like 10, 11, 12 in this office alone.
Yeah, it was, out of 15. It was,
Never seen
no, it was 9 out of 15. It was 9 out of
that.
15.
Insane.
Yep, for 1 month. Think about that. 9 cash offers. So I don't know if parents are going into their mattress and grabbing money for their kids because they, you know, until the mortgage rates sort of settle down and there's not so much volatility in the market. Grandparents, I don't know, but someone has a mattress full of money somewhere and they're just grabbing it.
Sold their houses though,
They sold
right?
their
That's
house.
the peak of the market. And then now they're just buying.
Yes.
buying the
True.
houses and the attached.
But even younger, I mean, we're even seeing younger people getting the benefit of having a cash, you know, buying in cash.
I mean, grandparents are giving them cash. Cash money for a house.
Mhm. So just
I
interesting.
need those.
Yeah, you and me both. So recession or not, the economy is struggling, right? We could see that. This year it went negative for 2 quarters, as you can see in the first 2 quarters of 2022. And the last time was actually during COVID, right? So that really doesn't count, so to say, because the world stopped. This quarter is so far positive. So the third quarter is positive. So a recession, I guess, is considered a recession if you are negative for 2 or more quarters in a year. That's considered a recession. And so we did, right? So we were in a recession. Now it's positive. We don't know if this quarter is going to end up positive or not. Nobody knows yet. But right now it is in a positive. So one other thing I want to say, sometimes you need a new playbook and new plays, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning. Our market has changed. You have to change the way you do business. What you did in the past will no longer work. And prices will not crash because of the amount of inventory we have. In a tight inventory conditions, prices cannot crash. They can't. Maybe it'll decline 5%. Maybe it'll go up 5% the next month or the next quarter, but you're not going to see any drastic movement when it comes to depreciation. And that's because of the tight inventory that we're in. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. Sure, Lauren said it much better than I did. But I just thought it was such great information to share, especially because it was so localized. That it's something that we really need. We just need to have the right dialogues and the right mindset moving forward.
For some reason, I thought housing. Played a role in all this stuff. The feds, right? Or wrong.
Sorry, say again.
Housing, housing affordability somehow plays a role, because I keep hearing the Fed chair talking about people can't afford housing. So they're raising interest rates, so housing prices come down. Well, if that's the case, and prices aren't coming down because we don't have inventory, then they just keep raising
But I
rates
think that's
until.
just our area. Other parts of the country,
We-
you know, like lab code agents, things are starting to soften everywhere, just not here.
Right, and we're in a bad example
Yeah.
for what needs to be done.
Oh, really?
Because of the market that we're in right here. We're just talking about like money and people getting appreciation of jobs. I mean, this area is just extremely wealthy. The state as a whole, you know, the Northeast has a big hole. So we're gonna be like last licks when it comes to things kind of right sizing themselves. But like today, you know, I was gonna get into it in a second, but They're gonna probably announce a 3/4 point Fed rate hike. We gotta watch the underlying and what he says on the back end of that. I think they're gonna have to slow things down coming in the next months ahead. So I think with that, it could be a positive thing from the rate line. So we'll see.
People get fired.
It is crazy.
But they need-
Unemployment's still ridiculously low, so
It
it's,
is.
everywhere you go, they're just trying help want it, whether
And
it's
they're trying
Starbucks.
to- I've never heard of such a thing.
But meanwhile, everywhere you go, people are at the restaurants and lunch, all of them.
I'm finding everything.
I mean, a few weeks ago, Starbucks was closed across the street
They all-
because they didn't have any help for the day. They didn't have enough help.
I know.
Yes, no, it was closed. People, we sat there in my window watching people go in, get frustrated, come out. We thought it was a fun game. We walked across, I think Laura or someone walked across for Starbucks. She said it's closed. There was a sign on the door saying we don't have enough staff or we're short on staff today.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy.
I had to go. People were there, like, you could like, shopping without any.
Yeah.
nobody was there to help. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It was
And then what happens if you go by a refrigerator at Lowe's this weekend and there's nobody there and you're waiting in a line? Guess what the people do? They scream at the only person who came to work. I've seen it happen over and over again. They scream at the one person because they have to wait and they're like, I'm the only one here. I'm sorry. I'm going as fast as I can. Like, that's how crazy our world has become, literally. I don't know what they're doing. I would love to know. All I know is, all I say every single day of my life, Sylvana and I have been back to work since July of 2020. That's all I know. We have been coming back in the office since July of 2020. What everybody else has been doing, I have no freaking clue. I don't. And it's so frustrating when I talk to a young person, they're like, oh, I'm not, I'm like, what? Like, that is I have very few like things that really get me going, that set me off, but that's one of them. If someone's not working, that really sets me off. But Catherine, just to get back to your question at the beginning, in reference to, they raised the mortgage rates to lower the prices. I don't think they did to lower the price, but I think they want to stop the fast appreciation that was happening. They had to slow it down somehow. Because there's no way that people can continue. Their income isn't raising as quickly as the appreciation was, right? So they had to slow it down, and I think that's one of the ways
These are also
they did it.
saying, this one out supposed to take a lot of time, right? Like,
Well, yeah, it's not like a
supposed to
2 or
be
3
immediate,
month
it's
kind of
supposed
thing.
to be-
And the other side of that is like, a lot of people are saying that they missed the boat, they should have been way in front of this maybe like a year ago. Again, to kind of gradually kind of work our way there versus like, oh shit, and then we're like literally like a rocket to the moon and everybody's like, how do we, literally manage that?
But the joke is that the higher prices, even lower interest rates, everything was much more affordable. So it's like that, to me, that was only helping the economy. The sellers were making a lot of money and the buyers could afford the housing even at those higher prices. Everything to me seems like it would be okay. What they've done now is they've screwed everything because there's the very few, they're just helping the rich get richer again, right? There's very few that can afford it, but you only takes 1 or 2 people and that house is still skyrocketing, but nobody can afford them.
Yeah, I mean, if the loss of supply and demand, I totally like, this is what our country's all about, and we were seeing the benefits of it now. that these things-
Right, even at those ridiculous prices, it was still affordable with lower interest
Yes.
Mhm,
now,
mhm.
and that's what I just keep telling people, it's like, unless the rates go down, it doesn't matter if the prices go down $50,000 or $100,000. If the interest rates are 7 or 8%, they still can't afford it.
Mhm.
I got my first. 300,000.
I got my first seller's concession. I haven't done that in 5 years.
What price?
Since 2019.
400 something thousand. And
I
the
got
cash
that
flow,
for 200,000.
yeah. I didn't even know what to do. I was.
This concession can be.
I was like, I didn't even think of it. The client thought of it. And I was like, oh, that's genius. Because you're so cash poor. I didn't even it wasn't even in my toolbox.
Yeah, I know. We have to go back to a lot of things in our two boxes,
Right?
for sure.
It's like, what's that?
I mean, but listen, your buyer doesn't have to waive appraisal. They don't have to waive inspection. They don't have to give their first child and their shore house and their vacation home anymore, right? So there are some good things, right? There still are.
But in some.
But in Parsippany, you still have to do that, and, you know, there are other areas, like I said, there's just 2 buyers, they're still doing.
2 to 3 offers is
Yep.
what we're consistently seeing if the home is priced right or it reduces to the right price, 2 to 3 offers across the board. That's what we're saying. And there's always the 2 that come in around that price. One comes under. One comes at the price and one comes in at a number that we were all sitting there going, what the hell are they thinking, right? That's what happens. That's the 3 offers that come in today. I know it's so crazy, but it's a new market and we just have to adapt to it and we just have to figure out and go back in our old toolbox, Real Estate Basics 101, and grab all the stuff that we used to use and remind ourselves how to use them again, because it was a very quick, it was a very quick turnover for us. And again, like you were saying, when real estate agents are doing business, we employ so many people. We keep the economy going. We don't even realize it, right? You sell a house, you bring a buyer to a property and they're purchasing the house. You now have employed an attorney, an inspector, a contractor in most cases, title, mortgage, right? There's so many different things that we do and it's just, we don't even realize it. Home Depot, yes, exactly, like we do. We really have such a big effect on the economy in our everyday business, but so anyway, we had our Halloween trunk or treat this week, this past Sunday, which was really amazing turnout. We had about 150 kids come through here. We didn't know what to expect. It was our first time. We were just like throwing things to the wind. And we had about 15 cars and about 150 kids come through. And we have a lot of great ideas for next year because we hope to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. We have the space out there. Why not? And people came and they hung out for a while. They didn't just come, rush through and leave. And I think we had people lined up at 10:45. Right, Joanne? We're like, why is everybody standing over there? They were just polite and respectful and we're waiting till 11 o'clock. That's why we're like, why is everybody? And so a line formed and then everybody came through from like 11 to 1. It just went by like this. And then 1 to 2 slowed down a little bit. Maybe that's nap time or lunchtime or whatever the case may be. So we know the timing we need to do. Mara, instead of giving out candy, had her son's food truck here giving out ices and ice cream. So people would then go to the bench, sit down. There was that one couple there, Elmo, the big cookie monster and Elmo. I think they were there the whole time. I don't know. Every time I looked up, they were coming through again. So there was like people who hung out. There was people who hung out. That was you? It could have been. We couldn't see. So these are some of the pictures. Tara Epsky and her husband, if you saw their car, made it look like a Ghostbusters car and they were dressed up like Ghostbusters. They did an awesome job. And, you know, a lot of these agents like them, they invited their clients. So their clients came by with their kids. So they were taking pictures with their clients, a lot of fun. I thought that was historical. Devin Lanny had this skeleton waiting for the buyer's market waiting for a buyer's market. That was really cute. That's Phyllis up there. She was a bunny. She was a bad bunny. She didn't know what she was. She's like, I thought it was a cat, but everybody's telling me I have bunny ears. I was like, yeah. So we called her a bad bunny. This was Deb setting up her place over here, her and Lanny. Ben he brought originally 70 he had got micro bags branded to him. He brought 70 and his wife had to run home, get more and go buy more candy. Eric Troutman went to go buy candy for people. Like we just did not expect what we had. Marissa was there with her mom. They had cornhole. The kids everybody stopped to play cornhole. So we have like this whole big idea next year of having a little corn maze out in the grass and more games and more stuff for them to do. Bo came to visit. He slobbered on everybody. So if you were black, you had a little piece of Bo on you for the rest of the day. Kelly, there was Kelly Romero with her thing. She had the koozies. I saw everybody walking around with koozies. People love that kind of stuff. They love little tchotchkes. David had music blasting. He had an entourage of people with him and dogs with him. It was just like really a lot of fun. That was Savannah. If you did not see what Savannah wore this weekend, and her daughter. It was very cute. I had to do a double take because, her daughter came up and said hello and was her normal self. And then next thing I know, I look across and I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Sitting by Savannah. I didn't even realize. So obviously Savannah did a great job with her costume. There was a line at one point. I looked up and took a picture of a line at the icy truck. Laura looked awesome. She brought her daughter with her. And this was just some of like the crowd of people that I took as people were walking through. I was trying to grab pictures of everybody. Oh, Joanne, that's the only picture I could get of you, Joanne. So just a really great time we had. I hope we have more participation next year. I know we'll have a lot of people come through, you know, if we did it once and we keep doing it, people will put it, you know, families will put it in their calendar. So we just had a really great time. So I just always like to let you know each year or each season, you know, we all participate in the Pure Gold program. So when on the buyer side transaction of every deal, $25 comes out, and for 5 years, your clients are followed up with. Most of the time, it's a little card that you get in your mailbox. Mary, you have a mailbox full of little cards. And then you just sign them and put a little note in it and you send it out to your client. But they also send out 2 newsletters a year. So the fall winter one just went out. So this way you guys at least know what your clients are getting. They're getting it, okay? So this is it right here. You can download it right from the slide if you want to see it, or you can take a look at it here. I printed one out.
How many years did they send that out for?
5 years. Nope, it's a 5-year program. And then this is some of the promo items for the new Whitebird Reimagined and where you can order them from. Whitebird's doing a Thanksgiving food drive, so if anybody wants to participate in that, it's always a great way to market yourself in your community, on social media, and in your neighborhood. So here's some more information about it. We could just even collect the food here and then, you know, bring it over to corporate when we're done. So you could have this as a drop off. You could pick it up at your client's house, but again, a nice way to just be part of your community, especially during this type of year. You know, we don't think about the people who don't have the means to buy food. We all complain every day of how expensive food is. So just think about that, you know, on a higher level. So some office training and events. We're doing the Tom Ferry webinar over. We're taking it in bite-sized pieces and then doing an accountability each week on Mondays at 1 o'clock. So we've done 1 week and then we'll be continuing our second week this upcoming Monday at 1. Planning day, I actually switched it to November 16th because I thought this week was teachers convention because historically it's always been the first weekend in November. But it's next week. So I didn't do it this week, thinking this week, a lot of people wouldn't be here because of teachers convention. But teachers convention is next week. So now I had to switch it another week. That makes sense to everybody. So Wednesday, November 16th at 11 a.m. We're going to do our planning day. I sent out an email to everybody. Some people have completed their business plans. It was right on there and have scheduled one-on-ones with me. So thank you for those who did that. My calendar is right on there. You click on my link and then you can see exactly what I have available and just put yourself in there. And then I get a notification. And then thank you for your referrals this week, Tabitha and Rachel. So I have a funny story. I'm going to try not to look at anybody in this room when I talk about it. You'll all feel bad. But I got a referral from somebody for a top agent. She did about $8 million last year. Met with her yesterday. As we're sitting there, she's really good friends with 2 agents in my office. And I'm thinking, this person met them and thought they were a good fit, wasn't even friends with them, but she's friends with 2 agents. So that person, if she joins, is going to get that refer and earn, and the people who've known her for years are not going to. So again, think about people that you know in the industry that you think would make a good fit. And all it is an introduction. And, you know, this is the time of year too, that people, if they're going to leave, you know, as things slow down, this is when they're going to make a move. So again, just a reminder. Your membership is now due for NCJR. Remember, you have to go on and pay your dues by December 31st, or there's a $75 fee. And if you don't do it by January 15th, then our office gets shut down. That's how they work. So please make sure you pay that. Continuing education, you have until April 30th of 2023. You can, if you want to do the 12-hour class that Wycott has, it's 2 days of 6 hours. You can go right onto this link and you can see all the classes they have available. I believe it's virtual. The next one is virtual. If there's a large group of agents that want to do it at a certain month, we can schedule it so that they, you know, that you come right here and do it. But right now, the virtual one, I believe, is November 30th and December 1st, 9 AM to 3 PM. And they'll continue to do this until April, obviously. But this class is a good one because it encompasses all the 12 hours you need. 1 fair housing, 2 ethics, which go right into your core. So then you need 3 additional core credits and 6 elective credits. Okay. So this makes sure that you get all those credits that you need to satisfy for this year. Don't forget that we have the We Do It All guarantee, the $5,000 closing date guarantee for buyers and sellers. Medical and voluntary benefits. This is the time of year. If you're looking to change your benefits, it's the time of the year that you would enroll. So if anybody's looking or interested, here's the information right here. If you refer a mortgage partner to us and they're hired, you would receive a $2,500 incentive. So again, just a reminder for that as well. So Anthony, you got to you.
Anthony, did Wycott ever pay out 5,000 to anyone?
I mean, they never did for any bar.
Do you know if they just did?
I've never heard anything.
No.
I don't know if it's something that's announced, you know, per se, but.
Remember,
We made a mistake.
Yeah. I would say no. Yeah, but then there's another side, so that never.
Right. Yeah, I haven't heard anything. So update on the market, everybody knows today that, as the bottom slide here says, that they're gonna plan on probably increasing by 3/4 of a point. Doesn't correlate to interest rates going up by 3/4 of a point. I have clients emailing now that are freaking out because they're like 3 months from closing and not sure what to do. 10 years kind of even down this morning, so we'll kind of see what happens after the Fed announces. I don't think it's nearly gonna be a whipsaw in a negative way. I think it's gonna be potentially a positive way where, depending what Jerome Powell talks about today, I think it might be positive kind of in the months to come ahead. So we'll see what happens. But you know, data from the real estate sector continued to be weak. New home and pending sales were both lower. The first reading of economic growth for the 3rd quarter came in higher than expected. That means the economy is not in recession present. 2 important inflation indicators were released. That one was better than the forecast, but the other was slightly higher than expected. Personal income and spending were both very strong. Rates rose at the beginning of the week, but fell back as the week progressed. And we'll talk about the 3/4 point hike. Markets will close around 2 o'clock from the rate world on our end because they don't want us locking loans ahead of everything. And then we'll kind of keep you guys posted on how the market's reacting, maybe around 3 o'clock or so, and we have more information. Just the rate, kind of how it's floating right now. We're kind of near that 7% up or down, depending on the day and what's kind of going on market wise. News from Fannie Freddie. So these are positive things, right? Elimination of fees. The performing agencies are going to be eliminating certain fees to low to moderate income borrowers, including those who participate in affordable housing programs such as Home Ready and Home Possible. I closed one yesterday. Freddie Mac's version is Home Possible. Home Ready is Fannie Mae's version. It has an income ceiling. In Morris County, it's about $90,000 is where your cap of income is. Interest rates are more attractive, and the mortgage insurance is more attractive for those buyers. So, you know, there's definitely benefits for those folks there. At the time, they'll be raising fees for cash out refinances effective February of 2023. They've also approved 2 new credit score models from FICO 10T and Vantage Score 4.0, which will look at a broader range of payment history data for borrowers from cell phone bills, utility rental payments, and determine credit worthiness. So right now, if you're not aware, bless you, like cell phone bills and such, or if you're renting and stuff, that doesn't get reported to credit. But what you can do is actually self-report that information, especially with people that don't have a lot of credit. You see that sometimes on credit reports where it'll, talk about their Verizon wireless, their rental payment history and stuff like that. And that kind of helps boost people's credit scores in that way too as well. Because a lot of times if you're either buying or renting, some people might not even have a credit score if they're more cash carry type of people. Believe it or not, they are still out there. Or if they're folks that maybe are newer to the United States, they just got a social security number. So these things will benefit folks that way. Yes. You're able to call. You're able to call. Like, the bureaus, Experience TransUnion and Equifax. You can go online and build a profile and do everything right on there too. The goal is to be inclusive of more potential homeowners. One study cited over 70,000 per year. Implementation may take some time. Also, they will be requiring reports from 2 bureaus instead of 3. This will lower costs slightly. And 7% of our customers refer friends and family. That's from September. And we got a question for you guys. What is the minimum down payment on conventional conforming loans? Is it A, no money down, B, 3%, C, 5%, or D, 10%? Yeah, B's, D's, what do we have?
B.
Answer is B, 3%. Good job.
The answer, she yelled it out.
Any other questions at all? Great questions. We'll talk more this afternoon, but I'm curious to, I think it might be a positive afternoon, so we'll see what happens from that one.
So here we go with our local market absorption rate. So as you can see, I mean, the active inventory is week by week, but it's staying either same, maybe down 1 or 2. I mean, really nothing is changing. And we're still at about a 2 months inventory, you know, average across the board with all of the towns that we are active in. So active listings. Mara? You have some new exclusives?
Yeah, they're not gonna be for a little while. 6 Village Court will probably go active on the MLS of January. Nice, like 2,400 square foot home with a double-story foyer. Upstairs is really nice. The middle level's a little petite, great finished basement, no backyard, but on a cul-de-sac. And Littleton, maybe 2 months from now, it's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths.
These are good, guys, if you have anybody.
Time frame for an exclusive. Like, how long can you have? As long as you
Yeah,
sign
there's
the
no
contract
time frame.
for. There's no
I
time.
usually sign 6 months. And then I tell them
We
that
do data.
the MLS supersedes the exclusive when you go on the market.
Somewhere along the line,
It's just a good practice to, when you're having your paperwork signed, or Garden State multiple listing paperwork signed, to have an exclusive sign, because they're not going on for a week or 2 weeks or a month or 2 months. There's no worries that you're not going to be able, so basically, if, what I've heard in the past, how we've run in the past was that if you sign a GSMLS agreement and you post date it, or it's not effective for January 1st, because she knows that's when she wants to put it on, up until 48 hours prior to it hitting the market, whatever that date is, in 24 hours, that person can get out of that contract. So you don't have a valid contract. But I didn't want to say this because then it confuses everybody. We were talking about this at the managers meeting, and I don't remember why last month or a few weeks ago, and Donna Spinetta, who also believed that same thing, called MLS, and they said that that's not true. If they sign an MLS agreement, even if it's post dated, that it's valid. I feel like that's
I mean, if they, who's they?
the sellers. If the sellers sign
With
a,
somebody else?
no, with you for January 1st today,
That's not true, because we had that with the Schlesien.
I told her that,
And
with,
it was-
with
I mean,
Linda.
I was on the other side. I did it dirty. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
But, but that's how.
Yeah, she was saying that I said, I don't believe she has some loss anyway,
That was
because,
my focus.
I know, but she
Is
wasn't
that
there at the time.
intimate? Doesn't everybody know how I screwed?
Yeah.
Actually, no.
This is the best part of the meeting. This is the best part of the meeting, yes.
The new agent, I didn't know better. I would never, ever, ever do it again, but client had a signed and it was post-dated, and so days before it was gonna be active, the client called me and was like, I made a horrible mistake. We hate her. We don't wanna go with her. We wanna sign with you. And we called the MLS and this was my manager. And blah, 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 and it said, there was no exclusive signs and that the listing agreement was not valid until, I think they actually said it was the day of, or it was 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
before.
And as long as she gave notice in writing
And as long
before
as I got
then,
a signed MLS as of today's date, that was valid.
That was the MLS that said that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and
so that's why my practice
And you
ever
know,
since
I
that,
mean, now knowing Whitegirt, right, and it went to Whitegirt Legal, because they didn't just lie down.
it was, because Julie was at White Girl, we were at Remax at the time.
Right,
Yeah,
and Whitegirt
so-
Legal was like, there's nothing we can do, like, it's really shitty, but that's a valid contract, and this was not.
No,
Because
Julie
it
Williams
goes by
is not a
the-
man.
Julie Williams.
And you
But
can't
it's-
prorate,
it's
you
low
can't
bill.
prorate a contract.
I've apologized so many times, I can't even, and our girls are very good friends.
That's why you get the exclusive to cover you. So you can make it for a month, you can make it for 2 months, you can make it for a day in exclusive. So Peter Lee has done exclusives for a day, so he could do an open house for a construction. Yeah.
But the reason I do, and why I have so many of these right now is that, and I think it's also just good practice to get these signs. I'm taking exterior photos now for listings that are going on in the winter. So I kind of use that as a listen, let's sign an exclusive, we're in business together, we kind of lock it up. And then it costs me an extra $150 or whatever, and Patty's been doing a lot of them for me. We do the exteriors and that way with the leaves, a lot of the properties look a lot better than they're going to with snow on the ground. So we kind of, do that.
Yeah, if you're gonna help someone prepare a home, you have to be protected. It's not, we're nice people and we want to help people, but there's a point too where, people just aren't loyal out there and they just end up finding out, a day before that their best friend's sister became a realtor and now they want to use her regardless. That stuff's real stuff. It happens.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
But again, it has to be an agent, right, who's approaching them that knows that, number one, right? Who's gonna tell them that. If an agent isn't aware of that and says you have something signed, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. So the agent has to be knowledgeable too.
What
Right?
was that other situation where I screwed Rudy River? Remember that situation? This is all very early in his career. It was horrible. It was horrible. What was that? Got an exclusive signs. What was that? Hiring?
Oh, I think what happened was, I believe, did he have a GSMLS sign but never went on to, he never put it on GSMLS? Is that the
I
situation?
don't remember. Signs, I got an exclusive signs and it superseded whatever they had.
I don't remember that. That one I blocked out of my memory. Gosh.
Oh, maybe they just had an exclusive and then I got a GSMLS signs. Go on the market and it superseded these, there was something, I don't know. No, that can't supersede it from another agency. So I'll think
No.
about it. Next meeting. we will
Next
talk.
meeting.
Bad things that I did.
Instead of Bad Bunny, we're gonna say Bad Mara.
Yeah.
Okay, we're changing it.
That was Eileen Horowitz. But we're best friends now, so it's all good. I can't.
You and Rudy or you and,
Eileen.
Sarah is the bad one.
Excuse me, apparently.
But get your exclusive sign. I don't.
Yes, get your exclusive signed.
Important.
Oh, my goodness. So, Barbara and Betsy listed 10 Montgomery Road. That's already gone. Multiple offers. Peter? Multiple offers. It's gone. Cheryl, multiple offers. So there you go, guys. Just keep that in your mind. Everything is multiple offers and gone. So we're still getting multiple offers. Terry, 897B Greenport Road. We're very sorry to hear that.
Getting showings. It's an immaculate, cute, really nice. Bedroom, ranch. Full basement, half the basement's finished, lovely, the other half is stored. We have country. 3 miles in from free. So it's all the way over there, but I sold them this house. They were first time home buyers back in the day, like 2006. And, we kept in touch and she contacted me to list the house. It's got a beautiful sunroom, which is to me the best part of the whole house. It's on the right side, really opens up the house. Updated kitchen baths, and it's 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's a nice price point. That's definitely a nice price point. Good luck with that.
Oh, I know what it was.
We hope. Uh-oh.
Just to think about. it.
Uh-oh, she's back. She's back.
The list- My client had put an offer on a house and then the listing expired. And signed an we signed an exclusive listing agreement with the buyer
yes.
for the house. And then we're able to relist it.
So what she's saying is, you know how the GSMLS listing agreement protects the broker for 180
That's-
days
yeah.
after the listing expires for anyone who came through during the time it was listed, unless you list with another broker. That's the exception. So what Mara's saying is. I love that Terry said it that way. So that's how you screw it up.
She taught me.
All that.
I didn't know that was the wheels.
You got both of that.
It was Robert Lazar. It was Robert Lazar.
Before that.
Yeah, yeah, that would make more sense, right? We're blaming Rob Lazar. I'm here to protect you guys. You want me on your side. You want me on your side, okay? That's all I have to say. I'm not protecting the outside world.
Go out to that house, and think you're gonna list it.
Them fighting words, Terry.
I was just an innocent person off the street. I knew nothing.
Off the street? What do you mean you're an innocent person off the street? You was-
So you have to have a whole nother like session of training.
Yeah. You want to be successful in this market? Let me show you how.
I was actually in Cancun at the time. I remember calling you. I was like at the ocean.
You have some memory. I have very little recollection, very little recollection. Yeah, that's where I like to keep it. Yes, that's where I like to keep it. It was not me. Sonia has 82A Iroquois Ave in Parsippany for $699. Oh God, speaking about bad Missy, this is a bad Missy thing. So since we're confessing right now, Sonia's, this is a new construction. The contractor, or the builder had it on the market for sale by owner. Started at $789, went to $749 or something like that. And now, she's been staying on top of him, and now he decides to list with her for $699. And she said to me, Missy, I want to erase the history in Zillow. I said, okay, I know how to do that. Thank you, Peter Lee. I go, you just put an A afterwards and then it erases it because it's a new address.
I saw that. I was like, what is that?
But what if, I didn't look at that.
Okay, you can look at this in many different ways. I want to just say, she wants to make sure that when you went onto Zillow and then she relisted it, that, you know how it has the history underneath, it would say 789, 749, all the days it was on? She didn't want that to come up on Zillow. She wanted to be on a clean slate. I said, well, then just put 82A and then you won't have, it's a clean slate. You have to make it clearly, but
Your regular address would be.
yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes. There's no way. There's no way.
Avenue, you know, sometimes it's on there 12 different ways.
The zero in front.
Because I've been doing that for years.
She put the zero in front, 0 to 82. So guys, listen. You can look at it all different ways. I say, I'm just smarter than the average broker that's out there. That's all. I stay up to date on everything so I can help protect my agents. And let me tell you something, agents out there are doing a lot worse stuff and never get in trouble. Right? They're not. So anyway. Or 897, oh no, what's 897B? I didn't do that one. Do it that one.
It doesn't work anymore.
Start on C, guys. Double zero. Oh, God. Maybe I should have taped this meeting.
I have a rental.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, you're doing this.
Oh, no, so this is just all of the homes that we have listed in our office right now. So again, we're gonna keep these in the office meetings every week. So if there's any open houses you want to do, opportunities you want, you can have the list of all of our office listings. So that's basically what we're doing. And we also have land in here as well. So yes.
I have a rental listing in the Fairchild section of Morris Township, right down the street here. On Pine Tree, it is a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath house, and it's a cake. But it has a really big family room. It's very neat house and a very good you can walk to the train station. 3,600.
3,600 a month.
We have a rental opportunity coming
Which
on
town is in Morris
Township Village.
Township, right next to Morris.
Township Village, right off of 124, near the Friendlies there. That should be coming on next week.
Since we're doing our
I
rentals.
believe it's gonna be
On that.
2050.
2 bedroom.
I have 2 rentals coming next week, 5,100
Rental land.
a month each, new construction, 3-bed, 2 baths, in Summit. Why are they renting? You built half the block and rebuilt it.
And how much is he asking?
5,100.
5,100. Okay, in Summit. Mhm.
I have a listing,
Okay.
coming on right after Thanksgiving. It's in Lake Mohawk, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, cottage, completely redone, adorable. Walk right down the bridle path, it's a lake, gorgeous lake views, 350-ish.
That's a good one. That's a good one, guys.
Right after Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Anyone else have any new listings or price changes or on the horizon coming soon? Anything you want to share? Any confessions you want to make? Anything you want to get off your chest today? Anything at all?
You know, I never, ever, ever go after people.
That's
Right? Everybody knows.
Really?
I don't.
That's what you've always said.
I
but now-
really don't. They came. Oh, I forget about that. I don't. And that one, I wish I had never done.
I hear you.
It was bad,
Dollar and a dream.
bad.
Okay, Ricky, I gotta go get all the bad juju.
Yeah, for some sage.
Oh, Terry.
That was a lot.
Their dollar. My dollar.
We're not gonna tell you until after you pick.
Then
What'd you get?
The dollar.
Woo
Your 5 years of service.
Only 10, but. That's because I laughed.
Yeah, it's your fault. No. Why does it say battery low?
Pointing fingers now.
I know, but it was plugged in. That's why it's confusing to me.
Grandkids, come on. You got 2
$1 and I got
That's
the
making
paper.
See, it was worth coming in today.
The payout from Wyker to all to the selling brokers, 2.5
Mm-hmm,
is the minimum?
mm-hmm. What area? In our area, yeah.
Yeah, Morris
When you get
County.
into like Essex County and Hudson, it changes, but
Oh, it doesn't, this is
Yeah,
Morris County.
okay, okay.
I'll have to look, because it was 2.25. And I was like, I didn't think they could do that.
yeah, yeah. Do you know what office it was?
I'd have to look it up again.
I've been getting some complaints about the Livingston office doing that a lot. From agents sending me stuff.
I don't remember, I'll have to look it
Yeah,
up.
let me know, let me know.
As long as it's Morris County, then it sticks.
Yes.
Thank you. No, I know. Friend, you know,
Oh, I know.
You want a copy? Yeah. You can see. Oh, yeah. That's so. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
So difficult.
I don't know what that is. It's fine.
When you get a moment, I
Okay.
need to have some words.
I can go get you.
No, it's, is it what?
Confession.
Resignation.
No, it is not. Absolutely. We
Um,
won't accept it.
I need a procedural.
And she usually goes with you at 11:30.
I'm done.
I'll go in your
Yeah,
office.
yeah, I'll be off, but, yeah.
Okay.
You do see her?
I know, I've been in for a while.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah, I'll be quick.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
You know, I can wait. I can wait.
I don't know if you, I would say, it's a work in progress.
So we don't find that we could basically work.
Right, right.
That's it.
Right. You know, we, like, he's motivated at a different time than I'm motivated, and it's like, yeah, so it's, I mean, I'm more working with buyers, I do all the contracts, I do, yeah, you did the contract. But I'm not doing things. You know, thinking there's a right, right, no. Right, right. Definitely. You know, yeah, is, I. Buyers. Yeah, I know all the buyers. Occasionally I have. Especially with I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Right, right, yeah. Can just go and see the house. But they're. Oh, yeah, it is. Right, right, yeah, yeah. Okay. I had a few. All right, thank you. Based on our capacity. Just. No, no, we are. Yeah, opportunities or writing a state. Taking care of the disclosure, contract. So they have. So you just think to ownership. Yeah. Or if something that you think about. I used to get you all. Very rarely. I know about, I think we're talking about that. Only to think about it. Only to think about it. But you know, yeah. Yeah.
I'm always welcoming, as you can see, as you've heard.
Is there a way, I have one incident. How do I copy it? I have to do the whole thing on.
Oh, I'll show you. Are you on? Or not? I can go on mine. Oh, yeah, you're on there. Yeah, you just want to copy it.
71. I'm trying to remember. Thanks. Right, yeah, so. Whatever. Interesting. Interesting.
Right. Thankful. Right.
Yeah, yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right. I know that, I know that. Yeah, no, she's good. She's so good, Terry. She really is. Such a sweetheart. No, I know, I know. Yes, 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 during the trunk or treat, I did. No, I didn't, because I figured Nancy just puts me on everything, and she was really like responding or trying to reach out to you. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I thought it was a client she was reaching out. That's why I didn't reach out. I thought it was a client, so I just stepped back. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't even catch on to that. I was so far off. Okay. Yeah, okay. I will reach out to her then. I will take a look. Glad you said that to me. Yes, of course. All right. Yeah, no, I read it real quickly and I thought it was literally all about. Yep, okay. I will tell them. I will be sure. Yes. Mm. She just called me, she's like, "These people think I'm really bad."
A little bit.
I know, that's what she's like, tell people I'm not a bad person. I'm like, okay.
FYI, you can't tell people that say you're not a bad person.
Yeah, right. It's like saying, trust me.
Yeah, that makes it worse. Like, that makes it worse.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to call you. But I did walk out there and say, Savannah, Mara's a good person. And Kelly said, of course she is, started laughing. I just screamed it out. Mm. Tell everybody. Yes. I'm gonna put it on the meeting. I'm gonna put it on my email. I was like, I said, I'm not even